Alright, welcome back to Zimdog. We're playing Fishing Barents Sea. As promised in our earlier video today, we're actually going to do a little bit of king crab fishing. I think I'm going to do a short trip here though, because I want to be able to do this video, show you a few important things that I've sort of learned by trial and error, and not have it last super long. So the first thing to note here is that we do have the smaller of the two crab boats. So if you look at the dock and go to purchase boat, you'll see the Selfy down here, and that's what we have here. And you'll see in the description it talks about crabbing. The other one is what? This one? Nope. This one? Nope. This one? Which one is it? I think it is the, yeah, it's the Svalbard. Oh, I should have looked at the quotas. It shows you how much king crab you can catch. That's the bigger boat, and that's going to be a whole different thing. It's something that we may work towards, and then just be able to show you down the road. But right now, we're just in our little Selfy. A couple things to just right off the top. You're using small circular crab pot types, which if you're in this boat, that's the only type it's going to let you buy. And you can have a maximum crab pot number of 8. Something else that was interesting to find out is that in this crab boat, your crew cannot help you bait the pots, set the pots, sort the crabs, store the crabs, or sell the crabs. So in the larger boat, you're going to have more crew members, and you're going to use them to help you sort, to put your gear out. They're going to be more interactive in the crab fishing from what I've seen even in other videos. However, with this one, you're really going to be doing it by yourself. So I've still got my crew member with me, just kind of for fun, but he's only taking profit from me. So you really should probably, if you're doing king crab fishing in this boat, you probably should just go out without crew, just to be honest. But right now we're just going to look. See, we haven't explored much of the map. We've just been using small boats as we've gotten this career started, and fishing mainly between really these two ports a little bit. And as the season has changed, we've fished in different spots, mostly just in this circle you see. Right now we're going after the king crab, which they are here in August, still in this location. And so let's get out there and put a couple pots down. Then we'll need to let them soak. Oh, wait, before that, we can't leave yet. I need to show you something. Couple things just so you're prepared for it when you go to do this if you haven't yet. This is where, just like when you're filling up your long lines with buying them and baiting them, you also need to do that with small pots and your pot bait as well as your barrels. So here's the deal with the barrels. It doesn't make this explicit unless you dig into the wiki a little bit, but the barrels are going to be how you store your crabs. And the way you use the barrels between pots even, to me, was a little confusing. But once you work it out, it's pretty easy to get the swing of things. But these are the 3 things you're going to need. So I usually take out 8 pots. I usually keep about just over 2 kilos of bait and 6 barrels, which is a total of 1,200 kilos, is more than enough space as far as I can tell. All right, I think we're ready now. Let's just back away from the dock a little bit, hopefully without damaging our boat. And then once we're moving, we'll go ahead and get some fast travel going on again to try to minimize how long this video ends up lasting. I know for me, there were some aspects of this that weren't initially obvious. Mainly, the first big surprise was that crew was not able to help with this. Really, when you've got your crew with you, all they're going to be able to do is cook. We'll let him eat for just, for funsies. Actually, maybe he doesn't want to eat. I guess because he's resting, he can't eat. So they really can't do anything. I mean, if you have any damage to the boat, I guess he can start repairing it for us. But crew's pretty pointless at this point with the king crab fishing. Okay, so let's set up some waypoints, and we want to just kind of go right out here in the middle. We're gonna just put down. All right, that should be good. All right, so this is what we're doing here. We're doing everything manually. So hit V to go into first person mode. This is only the second time I've done this, so I'm hoping that I'm going to remember all this. All right, your first step is going to be to take your pot, place it up on this, get your bait, put it in there. It all happens pretty quickly, so that is a good thing. And now what we want to do, we're going to go back into third person mode. Let's start moving forward ever so slowly. And now that we're moving, let's start setting our gear. I think we'll just do like 4 of these, just so you can see me do a couple of them, or a few of them. So put the bait in. Now, if you try to set it before you're far enough away, you're not gonna be able to. You have to be 50 meters between. So let that get a little farther away. And if possible, hit it right at 50 because we are right in the middle of the sweet spot here. I'll tell you what, let's just do 3. No, let's do 4. That way you can see, since you normally can do 8, if we do 4, then you'll be able to double that to see kind of what you might make. I think as the crabs do move north a little bit, we might get a little fuller pots. Also, of course, letting them soak a little longer. The trick with the king crab is they will start to rot. I think it's 48 hours. If you have them in the, if you don't have them back to, this one's taking forever. If you don't have them back to the dock within 48 hours, you start to risk the crab rotting out. So it's not quite as leisurely as time-wise as some of the other fish. All right, the other fishing, but it's still doable. I think when you get the big boat, and if you're putting 20 pots, 30 pots in the water, or maybe even more. I don't know how many people do in the big boat, but that might even be more of a time crunch. I mean, there's only so much time, right? Okay, so we've got these in the water. They're all just gonna sit there and soak. So now we actually need to come back. Fast travel back home, and let's get to the dock here. Skip some time. Because we're only doing 4, it's not gonna be as stressful making sure we give them time to soak and get them back to town. But just know that if you're doing 8, or certainly if you're in the large boat doing more than that, time is a bit of a factor. All right, so we're gonna dock up. Let's go ahead and look at the map here. So if we wait 18 hours, that should be good. We're going to skip time. 18 hours, skip, go fishing. He's too tired to work. He's resting now. All right, so we should be good. Again, I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible so you're not seeing too much of the unimportant stuff. Just want to kind of show you how this works. This is where I ran into trouble the first time I tried to do this. And it mostly had to do with the crates, and it just took me a few minutes to figure out sort of what they were wanting you to do. Okay, so again, when we were setting the pots, we were literally taking them, putting them on the tray or the station here, putting bait in them, and then you just hit E again to push them off, right? You do all that manually. Now we're going to be picking them up here, and it's a little bit different process. All right, let's go to there. That should give us a chance to kind of see where we are and line it up a little bit. Thankfully, the game will automatically put it in neutral once you are picking up your gear. So you shouldn't get too off course. This is going to be interesting, a little bit of rain and waves here. You shouldn't get too off course between pots. All right, so we're going to set this up just like you would like a long line, to pick up your gear. You're just going to be coming right across the side of it here. If you want to haul in the pot, yes, haul it in. There's no mini game here. You're literally just going to grab the pot, and then you want to place it in this raised spot on the middle here, okay? So the first thing you do is you hit E to open it, and then you're going to hold E down, which is going to empty the pot to the table. So you see there aren't a ton of crab in here. If we'd let it soak longer, we might have gotten more. We got a few on there. Then you pick the pot up and put it out of your way. You should be able to put it over here to the left. You can stack more on one or make a second stack. Okay. So the game automatically put a barrel on this side of the table. That is where we're going to store our crab. Here's the first important part though. You only store males, okay? So this one is a male. You can tell it has that sort of separate indentation in the middle. Hopefully we'll get a female so I can show you the difference. This one's a male as well. And sometimes the lighting is hard. That is a male. And here's your first female. So it's all sort of, you can tell the different shape, right? This is kind of just one big segment in the middle instead of having that separate segment in the inside. So females you have to throw back. You will get fined. That's a female as well. You will get fined if you go back to town to sell females. Ooh, so we had a lot of female there. Okay, so here's the part that I did not realize. If you now just go to pick up your next pot, it will not give you the indication to pick it up. You actually have to grab the barrel and store it. And it tells you at that point how many king crab you got. And I suppose that's basically just saying, hey, if the boat's going to be moving, the barrel's got to be stored. At first I thought that it was also saying that we were having to use a separate barrel for each pot that we brought in, even though obviously we're nowhere near filling one of those barrels. But that is not the case. I only have 6 barrels, and I was able to pick up 8 pots last time. So that's not a concern. All right, so let's haul in another pot. Grab the pot, throw it in the middle, open it up. And do our normal routine. I should have checked to see how. So we just over 20 hours soak here. So at least in this spot with these little small pots, this is about what we're going to be able to do. There's a big juicy female. All right, there's a male. Male. Female. Male. Okay, so we got a little bit lucky there with lots of males in that pot. So we had more keepers there, 29. We did drift some here though. It's unfortunate. One thing I did want to show you, you can go to your wiki. The boat's still moving. Let's get this back in neutral. Oh my goodness, I'm turning the wrong way. All right, you can go to your wiki, go to fishing, king crab. Oh, it must be under the tools. Yep, right there. There's a difference in male and female. So it is in the wiki. So if you forget, or if you want to just look at it one more time right before you start sorting, that's a place to remember it. This is sort of the segment that I was talking about. It has this separated in the middle segment where this one doesn't have that, and that's just kind of the way I've remembered the difference in the male and the female there. All right. Let's line this up, and hopefully you can tell we dropped these like right at 50 meters. They're pretty close together. Let's get these last 2 pots. Oh, it's going to be close. Okay, we got it. It does seem like when they get just that little extra soaking time. And just to show you, there's nothing here for the crew to do. If we were in the big crab boat, the crew would be able to sort for us and, would help. We'd be manning the, we'd be manning the crane and all that. All right. One thing that's nice is that that barrel does automatically get put into position. So you don't have to worry about that on the front end. You just have to put it up before you go to the next pot or before you go home or back to dock. All right, 27, another decent little amount. Let's see if we can swing this fast enough. I don't think so. Oh, it did let us get it. Wow. Okay. Female. Thankfully you can grab these from pretty far away, so you don't have to move. I guess hopefully you can see what I'm talking about with the light. If you were in the direct light, it is actually hard to see the pattern. Nice. Nice males there. Alright, 20 keepers. Okay, all of them are put up. That means we can go back to town. So the sad reality here is, at least at this point, and again, as king crab season moves on, it's August 28th. King crab season goes until, is it late October? We'll look in just a minute here. It may be that we find more densely populated spots. And here, let's look in the, I think it says under the fishing part. Well, it says they're best caught from July to October. I don't know if that's actually the, maybe it's in our logbook that shows the seasons. Yeah, I'm not sure. So in the large crab boat, once you can actually afford to buy that one, you can make it. It seems as if you can make a lot of money on king crab fishing. The reality is, even with using all 8 pots, at least in the spot that I've been fishing in, you don't make that much off king crab. In fact, I think I was probably doing a little better on some of the long line fishing. Especially in this boat, you can use those 2,000 hook lines. And I know I was making more per haul. So you see the range here, and this is going to be, I guess, based on how large the crab that we got actually were, is anywhere from 27 to 119,000. And I think if you're in the big boat, the big crab boat, you can make 1,000 a haul if you do a big haul. So I mean, you can see here, even in this boat, like, we hardly have any of our inventory filled up, so very small amount of crab here. So we ended up making 77,000. So we did make up on the higher range. We've got our port reputation bonus, but that only came to 500 additional. So it looks like we had 83 that were large. So we have a big percentage of the ones we caught were in the large range. So that's why we made so much for that run. But again, like, let's see. All right, so the last time we got king crab, we made 135,000. The last time we made a run and just about filled up our boat with fish, we made 230,000. You know, so, but if we had this percentage of large crab and we had done 8, then you got to figure that's about the same. A little more than 135, more like, you know, 152 or something. So, but on this one we had a large percentage of big ones too, so we're getting kind of lucky on the big ones there. But you can see, I mean, as you scroll through some of the like fishing lines we've been bringing in lately with this larger boat, that we're probably making more. But I will say that the king crab fishing is fun, and it's cool just because it's a different, it's just changing it up, right? And that's one of my favorite things about it, is that it's just variety. And so that's pretty cool. I'm glad it's in the game. I've, for whatever reason, there's a lot of mixed reviews on the DLC on Steam, and I think some of that is that when it first came out, it had to be patched some for it to take out some of the bugs that were present. But at this point, it seems to be working really well, at least on the smaller crab boat. I look forward to one day trying out the larger one. We'll have to make a few more trips to earn money to start thinking about that. But anyway, I have enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know. I've tried to answer some of the basic questions here that I ran into the first time I tried to take this out to do some king crab fishing. So I hope this is helpful to someone. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching.